Hello, in this video we're going to go through this question here. So Billy throws a Billy throws a baseball back in from the outfield, so that the height of the ball is given by the relationship h is equal to 1 plus 20t minus 5t squared, where h is the height in meters, t is the time in seconds. At what height is the ball thrown from? So before we begin this question, let's just discuss a couple things. So this is a quadratic relationship here. Again, remember when we talked about quadratics, what we like to do is we like to write them in order from the highest power to the lowest power. So I'm going to actually rewrite this as follows. Now, a nice little connection here is, remember earlier this year we did function notation as a little add-on. I could equally write this as h as a function of t, because we calculate the height at a given time. But again, this isn't necessary for this question, but it's a nice connection to make. So part A says, at what height is the ball thrown from? Well, the ball is thrown at t equals 0, right at 0 seconds. So therefore, we're going to evaluate h as 0, which is negative 5 times 0 squared plus 20 times 0 plus 1. So we end up with 1. So therefore, the ball is thrown at 1 meter. Okay, so now let's do B. If the ball is caught at the same height at which it was thrown, how long is it in the air? So if it's caught at the same height it was thrown, that means that h is equal to 1. So therefore we can say 1 is equal to negative 5t squared plus 20t plus 1. And now, again, this is a quadratic, so I want to get it in my nice special form here, and that is with 0 on one side. So now I have a really nice situation here, and that is that I can factor out negative 5t, so that's going to give me t minus 4. So what I see then is, therefore, the ball is thrown at t equals 0 and caught at t equals 4, because t equals 0 is from this term and t equals 4 is from that term, right? Because if t is 0, then everything goes to 0. If t is 4, everything goes to 0. So therefore, the ball is in the air for 4 seconds. Okay, so now let's look at C. So the ball inadvertently hits a hovering seagull at a height of 16 meters. How long was the ball in the air before hitting the bird? So the question is, why is there two answers here? So let's first see that there is two answers. So we're interested, when does the ball at a height of 16 meters? So 16 is equal to negative 5t squared plus 20t plus 1. So now again, we want to get our special form. And I could go and factor this, but of course I want a common factor first, because in doing so, that actually gives me a situation that's much easier to work with. So therefore I factor this. I need two numbers that multiply to give me 3, but add to give me negative 4, which is t is minus 1, and t is minus 3. So therefore t is equal to 1, and t is equal to 3. So the question is, why are there two answers? Well, this is because t equals 1 is it hits the ball on the way up, and t equals 3 is when it hits the seagull on the way down. So remember, it could hit it on either route. So again, big takeaways from this question. We have some relationship relating time and the height of the ball. So when you read this question, you just have to ask yourself what is being substituted in. So in part A it says, at what height is the ball thrown from? And the connection is here is that the ball is thrown at time equals 0. So we simply substitute in an answer. Second question is, the ball is caught at the same height as which it was thrown. How long is it in the air? So we take the answer from A and we just simply set height equal to 1 and work through. This is a case we always want to watch for because it's a common factoring case which allows us to solve this. So if the ball is thrown at 0 seconds and is caught at 4 seconds, the ball is in the air for 4 seconds. And then part C is the ball hits a hovering seagull accidentally, and so at 16 meters we set height to 16 meters because that's the height when it collides with the seagull, and then we work through it, factor, and we get our two answers because it might hit the seagull on the way up. There's my seagull, so it could hit the seagull on the way up, or it could hit the seagull on the way down. So 1 second, there I am throwing the ball. There's someone catching it. I hope that helped.